Back. More BTS Summer Cup EU CIS qualifier for the Summit 9. Not 1, not 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Summit 9. We've come this far, even though it says Summit 8 at the top. You guys can't see that with the overlay, however. But, you know, we got a best of 3 coming up for you. No Bounty Hunter versus the Seneko Velhor stack of 20-minute AFK less. I don't know if that was like AFK. There's supposed to be less like 2 S's, or is that French? I don't really know what they're going for.
Who knows, dude? Who knows? I think it's meant to be something about less track, but I'm unsure. That's what their logo is anyway.
Yeah, well here it's in Iron Talon. I don't know what their real deal is.
Who knows? So, I just want to talk about some of the bans here. There's a few interesting ones. So, there was an Earth Spirit ban by the Seneko stack where Akeem played it yesterday when they lost, but he played it pretty well. I wouldn't say it was amazing, but he played it well, so that's a bit of a weird first ban. And the No Bounty Hunter actually banned out an Oracle in the first phase as well, which I think is a more of a specific ban where Seneko's been playing the Oracle a lot at the moment. It's not too surprising, I guess, but it just means some of these heroes that have been put through in the first phase of picking wouldn't normally be there. So I would say Bloodseeker and Wisp are definitely 2 of them. Bloodseeker, very good first pick opening at the moment. It's very versatile in where it can lane. We've even been seeing some off-lane Bloodseekers at the moment. And so it's very good against heroes when you have so much fighting going on in the laning stage. And the Bloodseeker really capitalizes on that with the Thirst. And Clockwork and the Witch Doctor, I think it's a relatively... I wouldn't say a standard opening, but like an easy opening, I would say. It doesn't show too much. You know, the Clockwork could be an offlaner, it could be a position 4. I don't like picking up Clockwork until I see some heroes that are susceptible to the hook shot, where you can trap them in cogs. And now Io's been picked up by the Seneko stack. I think that's one of those heroes that actually does okay. They get the Wisp as well, which is really interesting. So I casted a game of this yesterday as well. The Wisp actually ended up winning. I can't remember if it was them that played it or not, but the hero is still very good. You know, people have talked about the relocate being nerfed, so it's not viable anymore. It's still the best support in terms of dual lanes, I would say.
10 seconds
being, you know, one of those supports that enables your core in dual lanes. And they now have the Bane as well to set up the relocate, which is very good. And that's that other support that can help in the side lanes as well. I'd say Ember's a pretty good pickup for a No Bounty Hunter as well. If you build a Linken's this game, the Rupture doesn't really do anything to him. The Rupture can Linken's can block the Fiend script coming out from the Bane as well. If your fingers are quick enough, if the Bane tries to cancel it with a different spell, you can always just remnant it back out again.
Yeah, usually that Linken's is, you know, it's defensive, but almost pretty standard on Ember Spirit. Just, especially in a matchup like this, you really want to stay alive and be able to move around the map without having that feeling of possibly getting caught.
Yeah, and I think this ET is a pretty good pickup against the Wisp as well. Obviously, when you're playing with a Wisp, you really want to be grouped up fairly close together. So the ET splitter coming through, you know, the stomp with the Spirit coming through, more than likely to hit you both. And it probably means the Elder Titan's going to get matched up against the Wisp. Zeus Bloodseeker, though, there's a classic. Zoom, zoom, baby. It means it's probably going to be a Bloodseeker position 1. So they don't have too much tower push potential on the side on the Seneko stack. That's the only worry I have for them at the moment. They could even run a Bloodseeker Wisp off lane as well. Obviously, Io benefits from the Bloodseeker moving very quickly, with him being able to match the movement speed of the Bloodseeker when they're tethered together.
How do you feel about the Elder Titan coming out here? You've got Clockwork. Is this Elder Titan in a core position? I mean, it's got to be, right, with Clockwork 4.
I imagine it's probably going to be a Clockwork position 3 now, with the Elder Titan being picked up. It's a decent clock game so far. There's not a massive amount of mobility on the side of the Seneko stack. 20-minute. What are we calling them? 20-minute AFK? Are we calling them Seneko stack? What are we going for?
You can go back and forth. Whatever
okay, right.
floats your boat.
You can hookshot the Bloodseeker, you can hookshot the Bane, hookshot the Zeus, and until they get these 4 staffs online, they're pretty susceptible to the Clockwork. So I think it's a decent Clockwork game. And I think you can also measure how good of a Clockwork core game it is by whether it's a good Blade Mail game. And at the moment, against the Zeus and the Bloodseeker, it definitely is. So Bone 7 played it really well yesterday, the Clockwork as well. He had a fantastic game. I think he was like 6-1 and 5 at some point in the game, I remember.
Jeez.
He's having a great time.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, because I was thinking about the Elder Titan. You see him early. I've seen him in the offlane a couple of times, and early he does okay. You know, he gets those stacks, he gets that extra damage, but if his lane doesn't go perfectly, he has a lot of trouble staying relevant.
Yeah, I'm just wondering about which support they put with the Clockwork in the offlane, though. Do they want to put the ET with the clock? Or do they want to put the Witch Doctor with the clock and match the Spirit, the Elder Titan against the Wisp? Okay, so it is... Wow. It's going to be the Doom IO offlane, which I haven't actually seen in a long time. Both these heroes... The Doom's fallen off in popularity a little bit to, to these heroes like the Axe, like the Beastmaster. We used to see Doom every game, but these nerfs have been coming little by little have hurt him quite a bit. They don't really have much objective taking on the Snake stack side. That's my only worry here. They're very reliant on just winning fights and getting good pickoffs with this relocate. And they don't have a huge amount of lockdown for this Ember either, so if no bounty hunter can scale into the late game with this Ember, it might be very difficult to bring him down. They're very reliant on either Fiend scripting him or dooming him. So it's a super good Lincoln's game for the Ember.
Yeah, the Lincoln's is going to block one of these huge spells coming out from 20-minute AFK less, hopefully. That is the dream to have it block something. But Doom, Zeus, Bane, Wisp, Bloodseeker, last pick for no Bounty Hunter. What are you looking at right now? What are you thinking?
They need another tempo controller on their team, I would say. You probably want to match up this Ember against the Doom, I would assume. I mean, I don't think you want to put the Ember against the Zeus. That sounds pretty rough. So, they're looking for their mid. Oh, no, okay, they are putting the Ember mid. That's interesting. And they're going to put the Void up against the Doom. I think Soneko stack have to absolutely crush their lanes here if they want to win the game. The Void and the Ember aren't massively strong laners, so they need to punish that. And they do have good laners themselves. The Bloodseeker's very good, the Bane's very good in the laning stage. Even the Zeus and the Doom are pretty good. I mean, all of their heroes are very good in the laning stage. So they have to abuse that fact. What are these particles around the Ember, by the way?
Dust? I think it's from the hood, right?
What's... I mean, I assume so, but I don't think I've seen this before. It's weird. I mean, Faye, it's a super good Void game if they get into these mid-game team fights, because the Chrono's so good with the Earth Splitter from the Titan. It's really good for the Witch Doctor as well with the Death Ward. I just think they need to make sure they get to this mid-game, to the late game, without giving away too many casualties, no Bounty Hunter. And I think their lineup's not too bad in the sense that it's really difficult for Snake Stack to go high ground as well. So I think Snake Stack, if they want to win this game, win the lanes and make sure they're out farming no Bounty Hunter, making sure they're keeping them back and making sure they're not getting to this mid to late game in a good place, no Bounty Hunter. I think no Bounty Hunter have just about got the edge in this draft just for the team fight that they have. I think if Snake Stack had a way to push buildings, they'd be fine, but I'm just worried that they're in a situation where they're going to get to the high ground and then it's super difficult to ever take fights. Let's see what the Wisp can do, though. Not nerfed, confirmed. Still very good. Oh, what a kiss.
Yeah, I remember it was one guy on Keen Gaming just kept doing it through the TI qualifiers. Just would not stop every 2 seconds. So.
We actually didn't see many chat lines last series, did we?
No, not really. I don't think we saw anything. And did they get rid of tipping?
No, I think this is the end of the week for tips, so they've probably run out of them. It's going to be reset soon, I imagine.
It is Monday, so it should reset soon.
Definitely. Hopefully, I think it's tomorrow. No Bounty Hunter are definitely a chat world team, though, from what I remember. So much more exciting. So, I love that the Embers brought a little bit more regen in the mid lane as well as the shared tangos, though. And when you're playing against this Bloodseeker, you really want to keep your HP topped up rather than bringing salves in. So he actually buys some extra tangos instead, which is definitely the right play. It's like when you play against the Viper as well. You don't ever want to get to really low HP because his orb attack does so... Not orb attack. His poison attack does so much more.
And Flo getting chased on here. The body blocks come out from Faye. They've got the cask as well as the sleep. Could be first blood coming through for No Bounty Hunter. And they take out Flo. Get themselves a nice little kill there. Velhor is forced to kind of run away as they... 3 heroes here. They get the kill onto the Doom. So...
Yeah, good first blood.
Yeah, nice little first blood coming through. And now Velhor at least has to
They
wait
did give up
for
a
his
bounty
buddy.
ring for it, but I'm sure they're fine with that.
It's what is it? Is it less gold for first blood?
I know they get more gold for getting the first blood, I think, but it's not a huge amount. Zeus is so much better in this mid lane than he used to be, and this is why you're seeing him pick up this lightning bolt early at level 1, because he's not so reliant on the arc lightning to lane anymore. He has super high base damage to work with, but the Ember does have a quelling blade.
Ember here with
He's
Quelling
probably-
blade and already
He's a little
using
bit favoured on the
everything.
Ember for now.
Look in the top lane, Bone 7 here by himself up against Arc
Oh,
as well as Sineko. As
Okay.
or bottom, they've got the sleep on a Velhor looking for the kill and Flash. He's got it. So 2 kills here for No Bounty Hunter in this bottom lane. And there it is. There's the tip. I was waiting for it. Just the tip.
I mean, No Bounty Hunters did this yesterday as well, and I assumed it was just for the one game that they were doing it, but they're actually reverting, going back to tri-lanes again, it seems. And when they pick this clockwork, they kind of just leave it by itself, because you can't really pressure massively too much with the clockwork, so they just leave Bone 7 to get whatever he can, and they make sure they secure their safe lane. And it seems to be working for them. They're doing pretty well.
We used to see a lot more of that, where kind of your off lane was just forgotten about. You get what you can, you die 1, 2, maybe 3 times. If you do well enough, it's okay in the other lanes. You know, but is it a strategy that still can work here, you think? Especially with the tri-lane that's come out from No Bounty Hunter, or they've already produced 2 kills?
It definitely can work, and they have huge kill potential with the Witch Doctor and the Elder Titan.
Scanning.
But, dual lanes have been so prevalent for such a long time. It's just surprising to see people go back to tri-lanes and try to make it work again. But it shows the flexibility in Dota and how many different things can work, and I don't think that's a bad thing at all.
Yes, double damage is going to be here for the Elder Titan. Not level 2 yet, so it doesn't have that Astral Spirit to work with to get even more damage. But the cast comes down on the Velhor. Nightmare Zakim, but we'll see if this is enough to keep him alive. If he had that level 2, I mean, this Bane would surely be dead as he continues to get chased by this double damage Elder Titan.
There's a cask in a few seconds.
Yeah, they're just looking to grab that cask, and there it is. This should be a kill with the sleep. There's the sleep, and there's the kill. Akeem gets it. 3 kills have come from this tri-lane.
I mean, this is the power of the Boots first Elder Titan. He didn't even take the Astral Spirit at level 1. Just takes a stomp just to set up for kills with the Witch Doctor, because he's got the Boots first. Pretty easy. And Clockwork's actually doing okay in this top lane. He's kind of getting as much as the Doom is, but he's getting more XP. He's having a great time. I mean, the Wisp can't really harass him. That's the issue. Like, you're not going to win the lane against the Bloodseeker, so just get whatever you can in this top lane.
Oh boy, magical over mid. There's the Astral Spirit with the sleep. But all of a sudden, Arise, Sineko comes over, sleight of fist, and Magical's okay to turn this around and get a kill on the Ember Spirit.
Yeah, that was a good try there by Arise to try and dodge the tower hit with the sleight of fist, but unfortunately didn't pay off. He actually hasn't got any points in Flame Guard because he's playing against the Zeus as well. Not really much point there. But yeah, it kind of makes his laning stage when he gets ganked by this a little bit harder.
Especially with Sineko coming over, and now it's a solo lane over top. They've got Bone 7 here, but he's just the only one, so he can't really go after Arc.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I want to say the other good thing about this Clockwork playing solo is, and having a tri-lane, when you're against the Bloodseeker and you're doing dual lanes, it really hurts you, because you don't trade effectively, because the Bloodseeker always comes out in front. But when you run this tri-lane, it means the Doom and the Bane can't really harass you down, so the Bloodseeker doesn't gain too much from it. And the Clockwork's playing relatively safe, so the power of the first isn't really shown in the laning stage, which is why the Bloodseeker's picked up a lot of the time at the moment.
Yeah, Ark is just, farming away 37 and 14 compared to the 24 and 9 of this Faceless Void. And Ark having a very good lane. Obviously nothing's really going to come out of Bone 7 alone against this Bloodseeker, but as long as he's not really dying and not giving up his life too much, he should be okay. But as I say that, look for the silence. They're not going to grab it on Bone 7. He'll try to just TP out. And successfully goes over, back to the shrine, heals up. Things are okay.
I mean, you can't really stop the Bloodseeker from farming anyway. And so I like their approach in the sense that just let the Clockwork get level 6 up here. Get whatever he can. Because your other lanes are farming okay. They're not obviously not doing as well as the Bloodseeker, because he can just push the lane out and go back to the jungle too. But even so, mid lane. The Rise got super low.
Flow coming in pretty deep past enemy lines, and they're not going to make him pay for it, at least right now. He has only level 1 in the Scorched Earth, but it's off cooldown, and Rise dropping on his way back to base. The ulti comes out from Magical and grabs that kill on Rise.
Yeah, he knows he's going to be able to kill the Ember just because of the thirst from the Bloodseeker.
Seneko hit with the cast. Hakim coming over, maybe trying to grab a kill, but he's over towards this mid-tier 1 over by the Zeus, and that is exactly what you don't want to chase into, is that Zeus, and with enough mana would have been able to clean up at least one of those heroes coming in from No Bounty Hunter. So right now it started well for No Bounty Hunter, but it really is kind of tying together here for the side of Seneco's stack, and they come over with Seneko. Velhor coming in. There's the Brain Sap. Misses the stun, but not going to matter. Seneko ends up grabbing the kill. They even the game up at 3. They've taken a 2,000 net worth lead, so
I like this rotation from the Wisp. I like this rotation from the Wisp as well. He doesn't need to help the Bloodseeker anymore. They just rotate down to the bot lane and put some more pressure on this Void. He's having a decent time, and we've talked about how good of a Void game it is already with the Earth Splitter and the Death Ward as well. You really just want to try and shut him down as much as you can. Don't let them enable the Void at all. And he's actually going Blade Mail first on the Bloodseeker. Okay, I mean it's pretty good against the Clockwork. I guess it means he can't really go on you, but I'd like to see him try and scale with the Radiance this game, especially with how well he's farming. You kind of want something like a Maelstrom or a Radiance to really help you scale into the late game. And when he's playing the position 1, not the position 2, which we usually see from the Bloodseeker, I think it's more important that he scales towards this mid-game, late-game timing that they need to go for.
You think maybe he goes Blade Mail into the Radiance?
Yeah, I think so. Before you go the Radiance, you kind of want like a stopgap item in between. Something like a Blade Mail. I mean, Drums is an item on some heroes that we see, but it's not really an item for Bloodseeker. It's the same when you play Spectre. You kind of want like either like an Urn or like a Blade Mail or some kind of like a Vanguard maybe, some kind of gap item before you get the Radiance, just so you're not completely useless in the fights.
Tip comes out.
Zeus gets the D ward in the mid lane as well. Well played by him, using that arc lightning, the lightning bolt. Sorry, effectively.
There goes 2401 on the Zeus, and you take a look.
They might chrono this Bane bot lane.
And there it is. Yeah, almost grabs the Doom, but just a solo Chronosphere to get the kill onto Velhor. Now, looking possibly for a turnaround. It can get a little bit low. We'll see if Faye wants to go down to Seneko. Grabs one shot at him, and below maybe.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, it was a good try by Flow though to already rupture top.
Sleight of Fist, Searing Chain, Seneko, and a really timely kill here for Arise. He desperately needed that, but we take a look over towards top. His Bone 7 loses his life to Arc, and it looks like Flash will too. Double kill here for Arc, and that is quite a bit going his way very easily.
Yeah, he's already super far ahead in terms of CS, so you really need to just try and ignore this Bloodseeker's lane completely if you're no Bounty Hunter at this point in the game. You can't pressure him at all. He's the strongest hero in the game at this point. And you saw how much damage he was doing with that thirst on the Witch Doctor. I think he 4 him, which is
Hook shot
actually going on him.
Onto Arc, but the tower's gone, so Battery Assault will only do so much. He's got no more mana left, and Elder Titan finally coming over, but Arcs realized that he needs to get out of here. And the ulti thrown by this Zeus shows that the Elder Titan's on his way, so just unable to make something happen with that hook shot.
Well played by Velha on the bay, just to sleep the clockwork so that the Bloodseeker can escape. Wow, Arise kills him again.
Yeah, I was surprised.
That's a solo kill as well.
And the tip onto the Zeus. I'm surprised to see him get that kill on the Zeus.
I mean, he used the triple remnant, I think, so there's so much burst damage coming out, and we've talked about how Zeus isn't very mobile. So it can be difficult to
here
escape
onto
from that.
Keem over towards top. I'm just, okay. Yeah, sure. I mean,
you have to stop going to this top lane. Okay,
losing a lot of blood.
It's not the play. You're just giving the Bloodseeker free farm and free kills at this point.
Yeah.
He's got his blade mode already. It's 10 minutes into the game and sitting on an extra 700 gold or so.
Yeah, he's very far ahead. And Arc is just, he rips through these heroes. He you know, Rupture is not that long of a cooldown, and, you know, using it every minute is very beneficial when the heroes that you're able to kill very easily are coming to your lane like that.
This Doom's got an invis rune. He's wrapping around. Hunter in the night. It's daytime, but it's still a hunter in the night.
He's got the Doom ready to throw, too. I mean, is he Night Stalker now? He's got wings. He could fly. Arise, I think, is a little too far back for him to want a Doom. I think that's a waste of a Doom unless they position themselves correctly to kill
Yeah, they
Arise.
saw him take the invis rune in the bot lane as well with the ward they had on No Bounty Hunter, so Arise knows something's up here and that the Doom's coming in. I mean, you can't just let them take all the towers like this for free. That's the problem. If the Bloodseekers hit the blade mail now and they've hit their super strong point, or their first strong point in the game, on the Seneko stack, and it's super difficult for them to fight into them unless they have the chrono, which he does have. But looks like they are going for this.
Fun to silence onto Arise. It's a 3-man Chronosphere coming out. Now they're going to throw the Earth Splitter on top of that. They'll get the kill onto Seneko. They're looking for more. Magical's going to be the second one to drop. Now they look over at Arc, but he's got that blade mail. Hookshot comes through onto this Doom. And I think that's with the Battery Assault, so they should have themselves a third. And no Bounty Hunter. Wow, nicely done to bring in the Faceless Void, have him come in and Chronosphere onto 3. I mean, that kind of lockdown, it can't be beaten. The Earth Splitter combination on top of that, primetime stuff.
Yeah, that's a super good play from No Bounty Hunter. Good rotations from them all around to understand that they could defend the tower and use the chrono to get kills. I think it was a bit of a misplay, though, from the Seneko stack, honestly, to just group 3 heroes up together. When you know you're playing against the Void, that's the kind of thing that you only let happen once in a game, though, I feel. Like, once it happens once, you say to each other, like, guys, there's a Void in the game, let's just split out this time and make sure he doesn't just chrono us. So.
Yeah, if you're gonna win the game, you gotta make sure that kind of, you know, miscommunication doesn't happen again.
Yeah, and it's super hard for them to take teamfights into this Void. No Bounty Hunter just need to wait for the chrono again now. Play patiently, and you see the Bloodseeker understands that they can't fight until they have the chrono up, so it just starts pushing towers down again. No Bounty Hunter just taking as much farm as they can in the meantime.
From Blaze to
Bane.
Time walk forward, Bane very much caught out, and you've also got Arise looking for a follow-up kill with that double damage in the Remnant forward, but not gonna be able to find much. Is this, you know, you don't see it that often. Is this an Ag's Void game where you want that cooldown? Or is it just, you know, once it's level 3, 2 minutes isn't that bad?
The problem with Carry Void is that you need so many different items to be effective. Yeah. Like, he really needs a BKB this game. He probably wants the Lincolns as well. He's got a Mom going for a Shadow Blade next. So you probably won't see the Ags on this game. I think their game plan, you can see, is just because the Arise has bought Boots of Travel on this Ember. They just want to split the map up as much as they can. Just trying to completely avoid the Seneko stack. And unless they have Chrono and the Earth Splitter online, just open the map up a bit, try and trade towers, and then fight them in the late game when you're much stronger than them with your 2 really strong mobile cores in the Void and the Ember. Bane's coming in. He's being very brave.
Yeah, it throws a pretty deep ward there, but it's actually immediately spotted and denied.
Denied.
Okay.
worth.
I mean, that was worth the amount of gold as the Doom
top.
gets chronoed. The Earth Splitter comes out. They've got the Remnant forward. And they get the kill on Flow. So yeah, they're going to be using this Chronosphere off cooldown every single time. It seems like immediately. Once they know that it's up in 10, 15 seconds, it seems like they're setting up somewhere to try and get a kill. And oh, now Magical's being found out. A nice hook shot from Bone 7. They've got the ulti that comes in through from Flash. And a nice little kill there for No Bounty Hunter who, you know, for the, what, 6 to 10 minute sector of this game kind of struggled, and then that 3-man Chronosphere has turned it around.
Yeah, he's playing really well on the Void at the moment. They're doing a good job at just avoiding the Bloodseeker completely as well now. Like the Bloodseeker's played around in this bot area of the map for quite a while, and the only person down there at the moment is just this Elder Titan who's stalling it out, the Stomp. Just making sure the Bloodseeker can't take the tower. And I love that the Clockwork just rushed Blade Mail first. We talked about in the draft how good of a Blade Mail game it was, which is what makes it a good Clockwork core game. So very happy to see that and putting it to good use against the Zeus there.
And Akeem, as he's chasing down the Bloodseeker with his Astral Spirit, also tips him. That's top tier micro.
The
micro in the
dire sides. They really want to try and play around this vision they have in the bot lane, I think, to get the tier 2 as well. But
wrapping around on Arise is Flow Magical as well as Velhor. They throw down the ward. Arise goes north, and the ulti follows it up. They've also placed down a Sentry Ward, but this is Arise able to make the right positioning to get out of there.
Yeah, fantastic bit of play by him. Understands where they're going to be on the bot side of the map, because that's where the Radiant don't have much vision. I didn't see them on the top half of the map because the Void was farming freely there. He might be in trouble now, though.
Yeah, the Doom comes out, as well as the Fiend's Grip. He's taken out by Flow. They have 3 heroes come here to get this kill into the Ember Spirit. And they do eventually find it, but now you take a look over by this stack of Ancients. Ark's been found. They've got the Blade Mail on Bone 7, and Ark ends up dropping a Flash. So it's a 1-for-1, but I would say continuing to shut down this Bloodseeker is what you need.
That's the most important thing this game. He is their position 1, and Zeus can take fights and things and enable the Bloodseeker with the Thunder God's Wrath, but unless this Bloodseeker gets like a Radiance and then a +1, he probably really doesn't do anything, and he's not going to scale that well compared to the Ember and the Void. They're going to completely out-farm him, outscale him. When this Ember gets a Yules as well, it's going to be even harder to try and catch him. I expect he'll probably go Yules Lincolns on the Ember. Might even just skip the Mail. Might go for Maelstrom first before the Lincolns, but not too sure. He needs a few items on the Ember this game, but again, they're just doing a really good job of just splitting the map up, getting farm on all the heroes that they need to on No Bounty Hunter. Because the later this game goes, the more it favours them.
Faye does have that Chronosphere to work with, as well as the Earth Splitter ready on this Elder Titan, so we'll see when, in fact, No Bounty Hunter are going to look to get that pick off. They've been definitely using that Chronosphere efficiently. It's off cooldown, they go in, they try to get something, even if it's a one-man pick off. If it sets up for more, they're okay with that, but for right now, Faye, especially with the Shadowblade Mask of Madness, he's ready to go in with Chronosphere and what is with him. I mean, they've got a couple of combinations that work with the Chronosphere. They've got the Earth Splitter, they've also got the Witch Doctor ult. They're ready.
Yeah, the main issue for the Snake is that because when they killed the Ember, they committed the Fiend Script and the Doom. So for the next 2 minutes after that, they basically can't go and kill anybody because their 2 big ults are down. I mean, they probably would have had to end up committing them both anyway to kill the Ember, which is worth it for them, but they're so reliant on these big cooldown ults to find kills. Like, it's their only lockdown. The Zeus and the Bloodseeker don't offer anything, and what's Wisp going to do? Russia Basher? Like, it's not going to happen, is it? So, they've kind of put themselves on a timer with their draft, but haven't put themselves in a position where they can push for that timer. They're kind of just getting kited around a little bit here, and they're struggling. I like that they're smoking up on No Bounty Hunter as well. Try and find kills with this hook shot whenever it's off cooldown, as well as the Chrono.
Yeah, they've got a lot of, good initiation, good control. You hit a hook shot, a couple of these heroes are just going to melt in your hands.
Bone 7 was trying to go behind the tier 1 there to see if he could find the Zeus, but Zeus was doing the right thing and playing on the right-hand side, if you see here. It's next to his tier 2. Void actually walks into the Roche pit. This is super risky. I'm not sure you want to do this until you get a pick off first. He does a lot of damage though.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Nobody coming over just yet, so...
I think it feels like they just don't even know what's going on. They're so scared to fight into them because they have Chrono. Oh, they're all so low. The Bloodseeker's going to be rapid now. Look at him. He's running in.
Hookshot actually misses, and Mark moving forward with Seneko, trying to find something. Looks over at Flash. He might be able to bait him in deep enough, and the sweep does in fact come out onto Seneko. Oh, looking for the cogs, but not going to be able to lock in.
Well, they get the grip top lane on the Void.
Towards top. They've got the Fiend's Grip as well as the Doom onto this Faceless Void. Again, using the double combo, but there's such a nice cask as well as the ulti. They'll take out Flow, but in comes Arc to try and clean up. Akeem trying to stay alive. Arc locked down due to the cogs. Seneko's going to hit the deck. Arise continuing forward, looking for Arc. Uses the Yules, avoids the silence. Sleight of Fist, but there's Magical to get the kill. Bone 7 needs to get out of there as 3 fall on the side of No Bounty Hunter.
Oh my! Arc was trapped in the cogs on this Bloodseeker, and the Earth Splitter, even though it hit him, it took him outside the cogs, which meant that he could just run around and carry on damaging people. That was really unfortunate. Yeah, No Bounty Hunter side can't let their Void die first. It's super risky. Like, you have to play around this Chrono, and I'm sure in the Snaker stack would really love to be able to take Roche here, but they just don't have any objective takers on their team. Like, Bloodseeker's not a really hard-hitting position 1 that we usually see that can take Roche. And so they can find these kills all they want, but if they don't get objectives with them at the same time, they're not going to win the game.
So it's only 1,000 net worth lead right now for AFK 20. But it was a 2,000 net worth lead for No Bounty Hunter for a moment, and you take a look at the experience, still in the favor of No Bounty Hunter.
It's okay, but I think No Bounty Hunter have to be in, like, they'd expect it to be behind at this point in the game, I would say, No Bounty Hunter. Like, you'd expect the Bloodseeker Zeus combo to be doing absolute work here. But, if No Bounty Hunter are leading in something, I'm sure they're going to be very happy considering how much better they scale.
Nightmare comes out, right throne.
You see this really good ward by the Dire around their top bounty ring. It's really difficult to spot this one out because a lot of the normal sentry spots, you'd either put it on the cliff just above it, or you put it around the bounty ring where this sentry is from the Dire. And they'll have just seen that, oh, they actually did catch it just out in time, just in the range of that sentry. That's a really good play by Flash on that Witch Doctor. It's not easy to find that.
What does Arise have? He's going for the Lincoln, so he's gonna skip the Maelstrom. We thought might come out, but you also say Lincolns could be the next choice. So, to be fair, you are right.
Yeah, the problem with the Lincolns is though on the Ember, it's so defensive. Like, he's not really doing that much damage. He's very reliant on his Flame Guard and his chains to output his damage. I would actually like to see a Maelstrom from him. I think if you get Dooms or Fiend's Grip, then, you know, so be it anyway. They're probably going to end up cancelling it before they use one of those ults on you.
Hookshot comes in, but I'm pretty sure that hit a creep. Now they've got the Fiend's Grip on top of it, though, or gets the kill on a Bone 7. They also look over the Elder Titan, who's ruptured. They grab 2, and they go right on into Roche.
Yeah, no bounty here, and they're getting the tier 2 top, though. At least they're getting something in return. Honestly, they probably don't want to fight properly in the next, like, the Aegis duration anyway. And Elder Titan buys back because he understands how slowly they take the Roche. Like, he can just buy back, put his spirit in, and just stomp if he has to. He's just delaying them. And they get a free tier 2 top. It's really well played by No Bounty Hunter.
They take the tower, and no Roche taken by 20-minute AFK. And it just... they bail and lose something. They don't even gain an Aegis. It's just an interesting play, and nicely done by No Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, this Zeus has his 4-staff as well, so he does have a defensive item, which he needs against the clock, obviously. Has the Aether Lens and the Veil too, so he can output a lot of damage, but I think that Nimbus is going to be really key for them. You know, if you don't have to pop the Doom necessarily when you Fiend Script someone as well. If you just pop the Fiend Script and drop a Nimbus on top of them, drop the Thunder God's Wrath, it means the Bane can probably just wander around the map by himself, finding kills, and just Fiend Scripting whoever he finds. Zeus just needs so many items this game. I'm not sure I like the Blink pickup. It's okay.
Yeah, I was just about to say, you know, if you have the money for a Blink, you're halfway to an Ags, and to me it just seems like you're better off using the Ags as the hook shot comes out on Velor, and they throw the Doom onto the Elder Titan. Ulti comes out, Thunder God's Wrath is thrown, there's the cast, Maledict, ulti from Flash to try and get this kill, the Bloodright lands onto Arise, they finally get the kill onto the Doom, Faye comes through, gets the kill, or helps get the kill onto Seneko. Trying to run away, Sleight of Fist, Searing Chain, still the Chronosphere to work with. Maybe they spread out a little bit more so they don't end up chronoing these heroes. And Sleight of Fist finally comes through, Earthsplitter hits, Faye gets the kill, doesn't even need to drop the Chronosphere to get that.
That's a super messy fight by Seneko Stack. They've put themselves in completely on the back foot now. That's really hurt their chances when their lineup's so mid-game orientated. They, as soon as he drops the Doom on the Elder Titan and they don't have Fiend Grip available, it's kind of like, okay, well...
And there's the kill Magical. Yeah, just solo Chronosphere. After having, you know, he holds the Chronosphere in that entire exchange. They get the kill on Arc. He finds Magical too, so it just... very nicely done from No Bounty Hunter to string those together.
I've got to be honest, as an analyst, it's very nice to see the game plan out as you thought it would.
And Hookshot comes in, Flo in a little bit of trouble. Seneko tethers up. They've also got the Shrine. Cass gonna bounce all the way to Flo. Little TP in Arc. Bone 7 is not in a good spot right now as Seneko and Flo are gonna try and make work of him as they've also got the Bloodright coming through. Infernal Blade. Bone 7 left by his team, and there he goes.
It's very difficult to fight under the Shrine when you're against the Wisp.
For Akeem too, they've relocated in, but there's the Yules and not gonna turn in any profits.
Like, they get this clockwork kill, so what are they doing now? What objective are they taking? What are they pushing for? They're not getting anything. This is my issue. Like, the Bloodseeker's just farming still. I know Zeus was dead, but they're not getting anything off the map apart from these kills. And unfortunately, getting kills doesn't win you games of Dota. Killing towers and killing the throne does. I'm just looking at their lineup thinking, at what point in this game do they get stronger? What item are they looking for that makes them think, okay, we can fight now, we can win this game? And I don't see an item on the Seneko Stack side that's really going to change the game for them at this point. Maybe like a Hex on somebody? But who would you build a Hex on? Like the Zeus? He needs so many items as it is anyway.
Feel as though he desperately needs that Ags, and he does end up switching from the Blink to the Ags as I am starting to talk about it. I think the Ags is, you know, it's very important to the Zeus's game plan. Especially with the Lightning Bolt mini stun, it just seems as though that is something that extra bit of oomph to their team fight is desperately needed.
Yeah, Bane was trying to set up for the Ember kill up top here, but he just remnants out. And yeah, a lot of the time I would say the cooldown reduction is probably just as good because it reduces the interval of the hits in the Nimbus. But at this game, they definitely need the mini-stun playing against this Ember and the Void. They have to make up for their lack of lockdown with as much as they can in terms of items, talent choices. And this Doom's in trouble in this bot lane. I think they... Oh, he's got a Shadow Blade, actually. Okay. He's fine.
He's able to make it out, and Faye just gets a kill on Velhor.
He gets the grip here, though. This is... Oh, he brought back to try and catch off the Void.
Oh, boy. And they are going to relocate. They've got the Fiend's Grip. Don't care about that BKB. They'll survive for now, and let's see. Should be able to just TP out regardless.
Great.
Whoa!
Oh, no, the Wisp took him back. Oh, okay, they get him anyway. That was a super... Mid lane, hang on. There's more.
Could be more. Doom looking for the kill on Akeem. There's the Veil thrown in from Zeus. How far are you willing to chase this, Flo? And there's a disconnect and a pause. Wow. They just got that kill onto the Void.
That was sick. I don't know if you saw, but the BKB was running out, and the Zeus was cancelling his lightning bolt because he understood how much duration the BKB had left, and he understood that the only way he was going to cancel that TP is if he waited until the last second. and that was really well played by him on the Zeus there, by Magical. Just to cancel it at the last second so that the BKB had just ran off.
Literally the last second, too. I don't know how much time he had to stop that TP, but it definitely was not much.
It was a great play by the Bane as well. He recognises that he gets solo chronoed, he dies. Okay, fair enough, whatever. I'm just going to buy back because we have to catch this Void and even the Ember at some point in the game whenever we have this chance. And the Void put himself in such a bad position, you know, trying to get that kill on the Bane that they punish him for it, which is exactly what they have to do this game whenever the Void and the Ember put themselves in really bad positions.
So 3,000 net worth lead here for no bounty hunter. Flo gonna turn around. If you're, you know, just joining us from watching the Brazil-Mexico game, so they are up 2-0. Just thought I'd give a little World Cup update for you guys. That's what we care about here. Yeah. World Cup Watch 2018.
Very sad for Mexico. You know, but it doesn't matter, guys, because it doesn't matter who else is playing in the World Cup. It's coming home. And I'm sure everyone who's from the UK in the Twitch chat will agree with me. Football's coming home. I don't want to hear any arguments about it.
I can't argue. My team got eliminated by Trinidad and Tobago's B team in the qualifiers.
Poor America.
I was looking at the schedule and I couldn't find when the USA plays.
USA at the World Cup. It's like Navi at TI, dude. They both played awfully. Don't deserve to be there.
I threw that meme out on Twitter like 2 weeks ago. I was like, I'm looking at the schedule. I can't seem to find when the USA plays. Because people were doing that with like EG. I'm looking at the main stage schedule. I don't know when EG's playing. People were like, the USA didn't qualify. They actually got eliminated. And I was like, I know that.
I mean, that's because, you know, all us Europeans, we just assume Americans
that
don't
I
know
don't
anything
watch
about
soccer.
Football. Yeah, it's not soccer. You can't say that.
You know, it was soccer before it was football.
No.
Facts. It was called soccer before it was called football, and then they changed their name from soccer to football.
What do you play football with?
Your hands.
What do you play American football with?
Your hands.
So, there you go. Soccer, it's not a thing.
You play football with your emotions.
Why do you call it American football, by the way, when it's only in America?
I don't call it American football.
Do you just call it football?
I just call it football.
Oh, right.
Then I give a little bit of that. I actually don't like football, though, to be quite honest.
God damn.
American
the thing is,
football.
This pause, by the way, I know Arise has had some internet issues in the last few weeks, which means he wasn't playing. I think Attacker was playing with no Bounty Hunter instead. So I'm hoping... Okay, they say he's back, but I'm hoping his internet issues have been sorted, so... Arise is a fun player to watch. Obviously, everyone knows him for his mag and stuff and all his YouTube highlight reels, but he is a good player with some other heroes. I know Quap, Ember, I think he plays Invoker as well.
And we're back, we're ready to go. Hope you guys are ready to join us.
They're really trying to take this Roche, but they're just taking it so slowly. Especially with this Elder Titan stomp coming through.
They've got the Nightmare onto this Elder Titan, and actually, wow! Force Staff to the high ground helps get that kill on the Elder Titan. TPing is going to be Flash. I don't know if you want to do this. Bone 7 comes in with the Blade Mail. They'll clean up Seneko, but now the Clockwork is doomed up. The body blocks from Velor, as well as the Rupture coming out onto the Clockwork. 4 are dead right now, and no Bounty Hunter. Arise needs to leave.
You can't take those fights when your Void's dead. That's a really... Like, they were doing so well, no Bounty Hunter, and they've just allowed the Snake Stack to come back into the game. And Snake Stack are going to spend the next 3 minutes taking Roche by the looks of it, which is what they've been doing for the last little while.
Now back to taking Roche very slowly.
Bloodseeker pops his Blade Mail while the Zeus is tanking the hits as well. Interesting.
They still don't have this Roche, and Faye's going to pop that BKB, so will Arc.
2 seconds for Chrono.
Yeah, I think they're setting up for the... There it is. Yeah, they're setting up for the Chronosphere, and they're just going to kill Arc. Just back and forth.
Again, I hate to say it, Kills don't win games. Objectives win
Reading
games.
him forward. Faye, though. Oh, the Thunder God's Wrath. Faye in so much trouble. Picks up the haste, trying to run. There's the dust. Time
No
walk
way.
out. Meanwhile, on the back lines, Arise, he's also sitting pretty low as the Infernal Blade burns him. But he is able to get that nice Flame Guard off and walk away.
Lucky for them, the Bloodseeker wasn't alive. But that was a really risky play by the Void there. That he just jumps onto that high ground without much vision at all. Especially when you're playing against the Zeus, who can burst you down so easily. When you've got this Mask of Madness popped, so and you're not being able to jump. It's a bit of a rough play, but he managed to get away with it. Luckily enough for him. And he's actually going for Linkers of his own as well on this Void, which is going to make this game super hard for Snake Stuck. He did go for that BKB Linkers in the end. He's actually skipping the Maelstrom altogether on the Ember.
Yeah, going Shivas. And oof. Trying to get this kill. They actually come on in, I think, with the relocate. Arise in a lot of trouble, throws the Yules out, but the Fiend's Grip comes through from Velor. Magical.
You have to have your safety remnant. Oh, okay, Velor. I mean, you have to have your safety remnant further back, though, if you're playing as Ember. You can't just have it so close.
7 not able to get the kill on Sineko as he's able to tether. Bloodright doesn't hit on the Bone 7 or a key.
I like that Bone 7's going for Ags next as well on this clock, but these hook shots are doing a really good job at isolating certain heroes at the moment, and they need to have that available more. Oh, he actually gets doomed on the Void in the bot lane.
Yeah, Faye gets doomed up. They've got the ulti coming in from Flash, just continuing to throw it. Bloodright look for the kill. They'll grab it. He's dead for 85 seconds. They look over at Flash Arc. That's way too much damage. It ends up
There's not many
cleaning
games
up
of
Flash.
Dota I watch where I feel like a pause really hurts momentum more than this one. Like, no Bounty Hunter, I feel like they were in the zone and knew what they were doing, and this pause has come out, and it's kind of broken up the game for them. And I would say it's a tactical pause, but unfortunately they were the ones that did it to themselves. So, I can't call that one up.
Seems like no Bounty Hunter, at times, just seem lost. And, you know, they just get broken up. Their team fight, their plan of action in these fights just kind of gets lost.
Yeah. Honestly, the Wisp has the Tether Grant Scepter bonus now as well. So when he uses it on the Bloodseeker, he gets an extra charge of Rupture. And when he uses it on the Doom, it gives you the Axe Doom as well, which he had on that Void, that fight. Which meant it was doing so much more damage.
You said Axe Doom. I thought you said Zeus. Gives him the
Axe
Nimbus.
Wisp, sorry, is what I mean.
No, I know. No. You're right. When he tethers to the Doom, the Axe. Yeah, I thought you said Zeus, and I was like, oh, it gives him the Nimbus. And I sounded really stupid. I'm like, oh, yeah, Doom has this ability called Nimbus.
Dude, and if he tethers the Bane, you get that really small brain sap cooldown as well. That's pretty dang. Not sure that's what they're going for, but
would it be broken to give Wisp like a talent level 25 multiple tether units?
yes, that sounds ridiculous. Decop, I'm glad you're not Ice Frog.
Granting multiple heroes Ags. Or an AoE tether.
Imagine doing that against the Void, though, where you're, like, running around in, like, a circle together where he's tethering, like, 4 of his teammates at the same time. Void just comes in and chronos them all. They're like, oh. Wisp countered, guys.
Yeah, break a hero in 1 talent or less. Tether AoE.
Arise picks up a ward on the high ground there near the Roche pit, so that's going to help the Radiant a lot. And yeah, he is going back for the Maelstrom. I'm very happy with that. He really needs to try and just output his damage somehow. Get some more damage output, sorry, is what I mean. Oh, they get the Bane.
Yeah,
they got any
the hook
detection?
shot.
No.
Velor's got the Invis. Not gonna matter. Meanwhile, Roche attempt number like 5 or 6.
I mean, there's a Nimbus down, so they have to run away now.
Yeah, because 20-minute AFK is coming in.
happening?
Everybody wants Roche. Nobody wants to give it up. Nobody's strong enough to take it. And the Rupture comes out on the Bone 7. He's also got that Blade Mail. The BKB is going to be popped, but he's got that Axe thanks to the Tether.
Oh, the Chrono,
so
though.
2 Rupture comes out, and now the Chronosphere hits on the Doom. Got themselves 2 kills with the side of no Bounty Hunter. They'll look to kill off Arc. They'll get the damage, get the kill. They look over at the Zeus. Magical falls as well. And all of a sudden...
Oh, the Wisp as well.
Seneco's dead. It's a full team wipe. Triple kill for Arise. And here, maybe's the moment. Roche, I won't say anything until it happens, is finally killed. There it is.
I mean, the only way the Void dies at the moment is if he gets Dooms or Fiend Grips as well. Like, they don't have enough damage to kill him twice. Unless they manage to kill the rest of the team, or they catch the Void by himself, where the Bloodseeker can just right-click him freely. Like, it's just not happening. Especially when he gets his Lincolns as well. They're already setting up for bot lane as well on this Doom. He did buyback. Bone Sever gets scouted out by the tower.
Bought back, I think, assuming his team would stay alive in that fight.
Look at Bone Sever's quick buy, by the way. He has the Ags, but instead of the TP scroll as his item, he has the bottle in the bottom right-hand corner. So,
yeah, how do you do that?
One.
How are you able... am I just bad at this game? I don't know how to switch
I've done it before,
TP.
but I can't remember what the buttons are. Sorry, guys. I think no bounty hunter are going to feel super strong now. They just have to make sure they don't die here before the chrono's up. I think as long as they can play around this chrono cooldown, they're in the driving seat for the rest of the game.
Hook shot comes down on a Velhor. They put the Lincolns on a Bone 7, but they'll throw the Veil out. Meanwhile, Flow with the Doom coming through onto the Faceless Void. Rupture going to be thrown as well. He's got the 2 charges. There's the Yules. Up goes Akeem. Down he comes. Rupture. Is somebody going to finish him off? They'll finally get the kill. They look over at Flash. Double kill here for Arc. Meanwhile, Seneko getting a little bit low. He ends up falling to, I think, the Maledict. And they've also popped the Aegis here. Chronosphere just hits magical, but there's going to be nothing to follow that up.
Why are no bounty hunters throwing this game, B-Cop? I literally just said all they have to do is play around the chrono. What do? They take a fight when chrono has 20 seconds cooldown left. Why are you being so impatient? You've lost the Aegis for no reason. No flash, that's not playing to win, baby. That's playing to lose.
A little bit fair here. I feel like both teams are kind of playing hot potato with the win, and they don't want it.
Are you suggesting there's some 3-2-2 going on here, B?
No. I'm not saying like, oh, you know, we bet on the game 3-2-2. I'm just saying like, it's just one of those games where both teams don't play well enough to grab the win. It's just like, who's gonna play worse to give up the win? You know what I mean?
Honestly, I think you can judge a team by how many mistakes they make. I think that's the best way to judge a team. That's why VP, Liquid, and LGD are the best teams in the world at the moment, because they don't make that many mistakes, if at all. When they get ahead in these games, they farm up, they get ahead, and they stay ahead, and they play well. Optic's another example of that. PPT is very good at making sure when they stay ahead, that's why they play these Drow strats, because they're so good at when they get ahead, at staying ahead. I feel like all these tier 2 teams, tier 3 teams, they just have to make sure they cut down on the mistakes if they want to get better. There's no reason to fight there without the chrono. Absolutely no point. They're just so impatient.
And they had a substantial lead for this game. I think it was the biggest lead of the game. Yeah, 6,000 net worth lead was the biggest.
At the same time, I know I'm criticising them, but it is much harder when you're actually in the game to try and make those calls. It's much easier for us when we're watching the game. But, you know, these players they're supposed to be up there. I feel like they should be able to make these calls.
And Disc queued up for Bloodseeker.
Yeah, he just wants to survive the chrono. That's the main reason. Because if he gets chronoed at the moment, it doesn't matter who gets chronoed on the side of a Snagger stack. They're going to die. Unless, you know, they somehow get relocated out. But now that the defensive relocate's been nerfed, where the relocate has a channel time, it's so much harder to do. Especially if they're caught on the wrong side of the chrono to you. Because you'll just get caught in the chrono and the relocate stops. Maybe even just go for an Aether Lens on the Wisp might be a play. Just to have that extra range for the tether in the chrono. I think normally I would say that's a really bad choice, but in this game I actually think it's okay.
He's actually looking for the Guardian Greaves at the moment. And then Bloodseeker switch from the Aeon Disc to the Abyssal Blade, so quick little switch there.
Okay. He is pretty tanky, but the problem is if he goes for this Aeon Disc, they're lacking even more damage. Like they don't have anything to kill people. They have to. I think they have to itemize to win the game rather than trying to stay in the game. If that makes sense. Play to win. Don't play to hold on.
So X finally finished for Bone 7. Need to take a look at the Void. He's got the MKB. Shadow Blade of Lincoln's BKB, but that BKB is 6 seconds. It's starting to get a little bit low, and double damage for the Faceless Void. He is level 25, so he's got the 25% backtrack. Ember here with the Maelstrom going for the Shiva's Guard next. He's level 24 on his way to level 25.
The Radiant, look, they have Chrono now. They can fight. There's a DD and a Haste on the Void. Are you ready? This is like prime go time for them. Seneca stack have backed up for now, though. They're not going to get found.
Gem here for the Doom. Been seeing Flo land some nice Dooms. It just, again, it seems like sometimes they kind of lack that follow-up damage on the side of the Seneko stack.
It feels like the Radiant, because they took that really bad fight, they're so scared to take another one now. Like they're really being really patient in trying to find the right opening, which is the right play. But they're fighting under this vision now that Seneko stack have. This is really risky. They do. Okay, they get rid of the Observer Ward. That's going to really help them. Put the sentry down up on the hill.
Keem was spotted for a moment. And they do look for that vision again to try and find that Elder Titan. Tethered up is going to be Arc, so he'll have those 2 ruptures. Throws the Blood right out. They'll look for the sweep on Arc. The hook shot deep on the Magical. They've also got the sweep. The Earth Splitter's going to come through. That's going to come through on 2. There's the Chronos Nightmare! And they look for the tether. There's the BKB with the ulti coming in from the Witch Doctor. BKB is also going to be popped by Arc. They kill off Arise. They've also killed off the Witch Doctor. Coming in is going to be Flo. Faye in a lot of trouble. He's silenced up, but they've got the gem. They've got the vision. They'll get the kill. Faye is going to fall here. 3 dead on the side of No Bounty Hunter. And this is nobody going down in the Seneko stack. They've also got the relocate. They'll look for Akeem. They found him. There's the rupture because he's got 2 charges. And that is 4 kills for the side of the Seneko stack.
Alright, that is plain to win, baby. That Basher pickup, by the way, on Arc, just completely changed the fight. It meant they could just lock people down so much easier. And that Nightmare by the Bane that's a game-winning play. That's so good by them. And I talked about the only way they could push buildings is if they win fights really convincingly. There's no buyback on Void. There's no buyback on Ember. That's interesting. And they're just allowing them to, even though they have bad tower push, to just 3D push towers now.
Rupture on the Bone 7. He tries to run away with the Blade Mail, but Arc ends up getting the kill. He's now dominating. The only one alive is going to be the Witch Doctor. Everybody else has no buyback. Elder Titan back up in 7. This should be at least the tier 3.
I mean, there's no buyback on the clock either. No 3 of the cores have buyback. You're giving a team that can't push buildings a free set of racks.
Find the sweep. Witch Doctor, however, flash. Seneko gets the kill. They'll take the melee racks. They should be able to finish off the range racks if they chose to do so, but they move over bottom to try and get this tier 3, and the buyback comes out from Flash. Now they've got 3 alive. They'll find the Yule's Blood right. Silence is up Akeem, and I'm pretty sure he was trying to set up that sleep, but he just stood a little bit too close to the Blood right. Gets silence, and Flash in a lot of trouble. He just bought back. The BKB comes out, the Earth Splitter comes through, not going to do much. The blink away from Flo, they'll get the kill on Flash. Here comes Faye. He's got the Chronosphere. That'll come through onto this Bloodseeker, trying to get this kill before the Chronosphere wears off. Arc is going to drop. He's dead. 2 dead.
The Fiend's Grip,
though, onto Faye. Time walk out just in time. They've got the Searing Chains. That'll lock in Doom for just a moment. Bone 7's going to come around. He's got himself this Rocket Flare to come through on a Magical now. The Yules is out on the top of this fight. You take a look. Themselves, Bone 7 locked in pretty heavily. 3 heroes here to try and get this kill onto the Clockwork. They'll take him out. 2 dead. Neither of them have buyback.
He's just taking the creep wave away.
They ball back on the Bloodseeker as well as Seneko on the Wisp. So while that is a net worth gain for No Bounty Hunter, they're still in a bit of a bad spot.
I mean, with that Wisp and Bloodseeker buyback, you've given No Bounty Hunter a chance to win the game now, though. Like, if they kill this Bloodseeker again, the game's just over. So, the fact you've bought the Bloodseeker and the Wisp back there and not found more than you have, it's definitely worth it for No Bounty Hunter. They'll be very happy with that.
Bloodseeker's gone for the plus 20 max thirst, movement speed, and damage. Snako. Do you take the attack tethered allies target and just like pick up a Desolator or something? Does anybody have that kind of attack speed?
He'll probably take the relocate cooldown, I imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, with the way that the relocate works now, I mean, with the allied attack, I always trouble to say this with talent. Attack tethered allies target. That talent's only good with certain heroes, I think, like your Deuces, your Lunas, your Snipers, your Morphs. And they don't really have like a good position one this game in that sense, I would say. Like, Bloodseeker's okay, but Wisp doesn't really do that much damage as it is. And if he itemized for it already, maybe. But I think he will definitely go for the relocate cooldown this game.
Yeah, even when I saw it probably in its best setup with LGD, they chose to take the talent of the relocate cooldown. And I understand it. Minus 60 seconds, 30-second cooldown, not bad.
The only reason he might possibly take the attack tethers, God, attack tethered allies target talent.
Ooh, hookshot comes down on a Velhor. And now they've got the sweep, should have the kill. There it finally is. Arise cleans him up. They also dust, but not going to find any follow-up. And Nimbus is here, but will be cleaned up by the Roche. And we'll see no Bounty Hunter possibly attempt this Roche.
I mean, Snakers like have to get this Roche because Bloodseeker's brought back. If he doesn't get the Aegis now, the next like 7-8 minutes for them is looking really difficult. Okay, no, it's 5 minutes till the Bloodseeker's buyback's up, but that's going to be the same duration as the Aegis. They just can't fight into them at this point without the Bane. They're so reliant on him for lockdown. And Nimbus just dies straight away. And there's a cheese on the Ember as well.
Faye picks up the Aegis.
This Ember's almost 6-slotted as well. And the only damage item he has is the Maelstrom. The hero's just so good at dancing around fights and never really committing. He's so difficult to bring down.
No Bounty Hunter, only up 1,000 net worth. I mean, it just felt like they had it so much more in the bag.
Honestly, they're only 1,000 net worth up, but with the heroes that they have, it's effectively so much more than that because they have this Chrono to fight around. They've got the Earth Splitter. Like, they have the better team fight than Seneko Stack. And Seneko Stack are basically just going to have to be stuck in their base for the next 5 minutes until the Aegis runs out. It's so difficult for them to fight into this now. I'm just trying to think about what this Void builds next as his last item. Whether he builds something to make him more tanky against this damage coming out, or whether he just goes for raw damage to help bring people down in Chrono. He has the MKB already, but maybe he goes for something like a Butterfly. The problem is there that the evasion doesn't really offer anything this game, so you're kind of not really getting the full value out of the item.
Do you like the call on the 25% backtrack and not the Chronosphere AoE?
This game, yes, because you have a Witch Doctor on your team with the Death Ward as well for the Chrono. Who, he hasn't taken the Death Ward attack range at level 20. He actually went for the extra Maledict tick. So I think that's the right choice. The only reason I would have said for the extra AoE on the Chrono this game is because of the Wisp Relocate. But because of the way the Wisp Relocate works now, where it has a channel time, I don't think you have to worry too much. I think they can quite easily cancel it without having to worry.
Zeus obviously has that Ags Faye working here with the Aegis as well as BKB, but that is a BKB that is down to 5 seconds. So, you know, we've seen the BKB duration kind of hurt Faye at times. And now with it even lower, he's got to be even more careful. We'll see how No Bounty Hunter choose to play with this Aegis. If this is just going to be a farming Aegis, or maybe they look to fight in a moment. They have smoked up, so...
This Lotus Orb on the Elder Titan is going to do a lot of work if he can preemptively put it on someone as well. If he can cancel something like a Fiend Script, maybe Return of Doom, the fight's just over instantly. Let's see what he can do.
Middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, nobody here trying to defend this tier 2 tower. They've got backdoor. but that's about to wear off with creeps coming on in. There it is.
They do have a gem on No Bounty Hunter as well, so they're trying to close out this map as much as they can now. They understand how much of a good position they're in. They really want to try and push this advantage now.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Comes out and we'll see what they're willing to do. I mean, they want to push out bottom a little bit. They throw the rocket flare out there.
Flames will spread.
Wisp is doing a really good job here of just relocating people into the side lanes to push the lanes out as well. Trying to force people back from No Bounty Hunter just to let this Aegis expire out so they can actually take a team fight. Doing a good job. I think the Aegis only has about a minute on it left as well.
Flow does blink away, but they've got the Shadow Blade. Faye trying to chase. The dust a little bit short of this Doom.
He sees the Doom.
If he wants it, there's the hookshot and the Chronosphere. This may not get the Doom. They've got themselves the Nimbus as well as the Fiend's Grip. Lotus Orb comes in, and now Velhor, he'll be slept up. There's the Cogs pushing him away, but the Bloodrite gonna silence up this Void. Not gonna matter. Velhar falls. And they don't get the Doom, but they at least get the Bane. That's definitely not what they were looking for, but we'll take a consolation prize if it's all they can get.
Yeah. I mean, that's really well played by Velhor on the Bane, though. Just to make sure the Doom doesn't die there. The Doom's life means so much more. And he actually... Does he have buyback on the Doom? Yeah, he did. He would have had it available, but... Again, the Aegis is going to go down now in about a few seconds, I think. And they've kind of... No Bounty have kind of just lost the point where they had a massive advantage over them. Yeah, there you go. The Aegis is gone. And Bone 7's in trouble instantly.
Yeah, he's got the Rupture on him as well as the Nimbus on top. Uses that Blade Mail. Arc pops the BKB with the Abyssal Blade coming out on the Flash. They'll get themselves one, now two. They'll look for more. Flow's going to end up falling, but the Doom comes down onto the Ember Spirit. Arise is trying to run away. Seneko doing all he can to try and keep him here, and I think Arise is more than dead with the Doom on him and the damage that came out from the Zeus. The buyback comes through from the Clockwork, but that is just... a good amount of kills. 3 kills going the way of 20-minute AFK, and
right.
The buyback for
the
Clockwork as well.
Which spell do the Radiant need to fight around?
I've heard the answer to this one. Now, I'm going to guess
spell
here.
Was on cooldown? Which spell was on cooldown for that fight? And it still is on cooldown.
I'm going to go with Time Dilation.
Goddamn Beacon.
No, it's the Chronosphere, and again, they fight not around it.
Their Aegis runs out, and they don't have Chrono up, and Bone 7 gets caught out of position. I can't say it enough. Just wait for the Chrono.
They've got it now.
He actually has Silver Edge on the Void as well, which cancels the thirst of the Bloodseeker. So that's an interesting one.
It should be nice to get rid of that thirst, but again, it's just you use the Chronosphere, you try to get the Doom, you don't get the kill in the Doom, and then all of a sudden you're trying to fight again without the Chronosphere, and it seems every time they fight without the Chronosphere in a big 5-on-5 like that, it ends up biting them.
I mean, sorry, there was another thing I wanted to point out as well. In that bot fight, I'm not sure if you saw, do you remember when the Abyssal came out on the Witch Doctor?
Yes.
So what happened was the Witch Doctor really wants to get his Maledict off onto the Wisp, because as soon as the Maledict goes off, it means the Wisp can't start healing anybody up anymore, with things like the bottle, everything like that. It just reduces the healing power so much of the Wisp. Oh, he actually doesn't have a bottle on the Wisp. Oh, he went for Soul Ring instead, didn't he? And he doesn't have it anymore. Do you know what? I'm just going to shut up. I'm losing my mind. It's got to 50 minutes and my mind just turns to mush beak up. I'm out.
50 minutes isn't even that long anymore. You know, I get that you're just coming in here, a little bit newer to the scene. 2-hour games, dude. That's where the average lies. If your brain goes to mush at 50, you gotta keep that brain solidified. Gotta be ready for those, you know, Naga Medusa games that go 2 hours in.
God damn. That's because you're used to casting Chinese Dota, that's why. You're used to these really long games. I need to get myself down there. Like, you know how like monks and stuff, they all just train? My way to train for really long games of Dota is just to go and cast Chinese games, where they all just wait for the third Roche the whole time.
They're pretty fast-paced right now, but yeah, back in the day, it used to be a little bit... Back in the day, like, I've been here that long either. Like, I'm more new to this, too. But,
the ZSMJs.
yeah, the Hyper Glory team casting. I didn't even get to cast them. That's when I was watching Dota. But that Medusa Naga game came out during last year's NATI qualifiers.
Naga carry. It's been dead for a while, I think. I reckon it'll always come back, and it'll always make a comeback at TI. Naga carry, Naga core. It happens every single year. There's certain heroes that just always make a comeback. Like Alchemist is another one we've been seeing a little bit more of already. I feel like when it comes to TI, you get these metas where it's so much more based around team fight.
Nightmare onto a rise. Flash coming over. They've got Arc as well as the relocate. The Fiend's Grip hits, but now they stop it, and now they've got the Searing Chains onto this Bloodseeker. You take a look a little bit further down on the fight. Seneco's going to fall. Now they've got this Battery Assault coming through, as well as the Nullifier onto the Doom. He finds the Doom that hits onto the Clockwork, but he's already locked you down. He's got the kill. The Abyssal Blade out onto the Elder Titan. Arc looking for the kill. The Force Staff to the low ground just gets out. And now Faye trying to do something, almost losing his life. There's the Time Walk.
Why are you popping Mask of
Find a way out, and Faye, E-Blade still alive. Or a Splitter cuts them off. Bloodseeker, look at how fast this man runs, and it's taken out by a rise. Arc finally gets the kill, and there's the Remnant forward into the hands of Flow, Magical, and Seneco. The buyback from both the Bloodseeker and the Doom, and that puts a rise in a lot of trouble trying to Remnant out, but he's hexed up and will end up dropping. Triple kill here for Magical. They look for more. The Abyssal Blade hits on Faye. He's locked down heavily. Silence up, can't time walk out. And yeah, he just walked back. He's in a little bit of trouble. Our eyes walk back as well. He's got the break coming through onto the Bloodseeker, trying to kill off Arc. I don't know if he has enough damage just yet. He moves so fast to get away. He's just gone. He's just gone. But he ends up dying anyway, and he falls for 2 minutes. The buyback for Magical as well as the Bane. They look for Seneco. They've got this upgraded urn on him. Seneco tethered to the high ground as well as the Nightmare ends up surviving, but here comes Arise as well as Faye. They look over the Bane, they'll get a kill, they'll take him out, they'll look for more. Seneco trying to run, he's got the Guardian Greaves to heal himself back up, and oh no, they're running into the high ground. Faye still running the blink away. There's the Yules onto this Zeus. They've got the Searing Chains. This is a Nimbus attempt. Seneco, he's trying to relocate out, and bye-bye, baby. Hookshot misses. Flow is here, but look at this. Faye and Arise, they'll get the kill. Dead for 100 seconds. 3 gone on the side of 20-minute AFK and no buyback.
Oh my god, they've just been dancing around for the last like 30-40 minutes doing absolutely nothing.
Oh, now the hookshot comes out onto Seneco with the Nullifier on him. Where are you going? He's dead for 2 minutes. Top rack's gone. They'll go straight for tier 4s.
Alright guys, alright. I mean, there's still a Zeus. He has Nimbus, he has like E-Blade. There's a chance that they could throw here. It's very small, but they could.
You never know.
He's level 25, he has the Arc Lightning damage.
He's got the tier 4s gone. Now they'll work at the Ancient.
He buys a refresher.
Oh, Chronosphere comes. Yeah, okay, that's GG. Chronosphere, they'll kill off the Zeus. There's the full team wipe. And there's the GG call. No Bounty Hunter, take game 1.
That last fight, by the way, it felt, I was starting to explain it felt like they all just smashed heads after 30 minutes for doing absolutely nothing. They were like, okay, we're all bored now. Let's just do some massive 5 vs 5 where everyone buys back. And whoever wins this fight just wins the game. Like, that's fine. Let's just do it like that.
It's like in the UFC, where they just agree to brawl in the middle of the ring, or the octagon, and they just start throwing. And I don't understand what was going on, but somebody came out the victor, and that victor was no Bounty Hunter.
I mean, they did have the better heroes for the late game as well. That Bloodseeker running so fast at the end was hilarious too.
I thought he was gone. I swear I thought he was gone. He walked off screen so fast. I was like, all right, he's gone. And then he ended up dying. I was like,
he had the Spirit Vessel on him, so even when he was running away, he just ticked out to the end of the Spirit Vessel. It was pretty good.
Oh my god, that was.
I mean, honestly, I'm surprised that the Snake stack lasted that long with the heroes they had. They actually played pretty well.
Yeah, that was the end
Much
of a
better than I
Crusader
thought.
game right there.
God.
So
who's ready for game 2?
Yeah, we're ready for game 2. No Bounty Hunter, take game 1. I'm your caster, BCop, joined here by Mofara, at BCop92 on Twitter, at Mofara Dota on Twitter. Follow us to know when we're casting again. We'll be back with game 2 in just a moment. We need to catch our breath. I need some water, maybe a little bit more coffee. And, yeah, we'll be back in just a moment. Stay right there, please.